Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Whitty here. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that I didn't get an opportunity to talk to you about before. Um, I know this video is a little bit late and I wish I had been able to do it earlier. It's been a busy couple of weeks starting up 2 courses online, and I also had some tech issues, and I've hopefully worked through some of those tech issues now, and we're hopefully moving on the right direction, and we'll get some more of these videos out hopefully coming up soon. So today I wanted to talk about some of the issues around how the course is set up. I know many of you have been emailing me in regards to trying to figure out exactly how the course works, what assignments you have to do, what assignments you don't have to do, and I'll be as clear as I can with that. And so in the interest of doing that, I'm going to flip over to having just a screen capture of what it is that you will see when you enter the course, and then we'll talk a little bit about how that impacts what you need to do. So flipping over to the course, you can see here that you have every time you come into the course, you'll see a weekly overview, and this weekly overview is basically the course over the 2-week period that the course runs on. So the course is broken down into 2-week blocks, and the reason it's 2-week blocks is because here in Thames Valley, which is the board I'm teaching in, we are in a quadmestered system, which means that every other week we switch back and forth between classes. And unfortunately, the first week of that, I'm required to teach a different class, and I'm gonna show you an example of that soon as well. And just so you can see how my schedule plays out. But before I get to that, I just want to be clear about the fact that this is the weekly overview. These are the assigned assignments, the assigned readings, and the assigned discussions that you will have to do each and every day. Keeping in mind that you are required to be in this course for the full school day, and I've tried to kind of pare down the amount of work that you're doing, to make sure that it's doable within the time period that you're given. So please, I've had to actually do this 3 times. The course that was given to me was extremely difficult. There was way more work in it than I thought any student could do, even in a regular year. I streamlined that course to get it down to something I thought students could achieve. And now, because of COVID and the quadmestered system and our reduced time together, I've had to streamline that again. So I'm really trying to bring down the course to its basic elements. And so, to that end, I'll talk a little bit about how each thing needs to be done. So basically, for each day, you'll see assigned readings. And that's the one thing that I'm not really willing to kind of bend on. I do want you to ensure that you cover all of the material. Whether I evaluate that material or not is a different thing. But I do need you to make sure that you're covering all of the content. That means reading through all the content, watching all the videos that are there. Even if the assignments that are attached to those videos are not due, it is important that you have the knowledge of the material, because that material will build over time. You may have to use some of the things that you're looking at in this unit in, Unit 4 or something like that. So excuse me. So it's really important that you're keeping up on the readings and the content. Then beside that are the assignments. These are the assignments that you're actually going to be handing into the Dropbox or the assignment box. There are definite due dates assigned to each one of these, so you need to make sure that you complete those in the assigned time. Moving over to the discussion section, I'll come back to the due date section, but in the discussion section, it talks to you about which discussions you should be participating in on that day. And actually, the discussions are open up for the full 2-week period. I don't stop the discussions. I do introduce different discussions kind of each day or every other day kind of thing. Again, I'm trying to keep the amount of work that you have to do down. So just be aware of that. Just be aware that these discussions don't necessarily have a due date, unless I've given you one specifically, but generally those due dates are the end of the 2-week block. And then you'll also see this due date here. So you can see in the middle, I've given you kind of a due date for when all the work is due. So having completed all the readings, completed all the assignments, and these three things on the left-hand side are due. And that's why I've kind of put it after the assigned readings and the assignments, because that's when those are due. And then the discussions aren't really due until the end of the 2-week block. Okay? So you'll see this weekly overview show up every 2 weeks. So you'll see a new weekly overview every 2 weeks. And I will try and leave the old weekly overview at the end of each week. So you'll see a post in the announcement section that kind of shows a copy of this every 2 weeks. Now, in the announcement section, you will see any new content that I post each and every day. So for example, today is May the 6th, and if we scroll down, you will be able to see that on May 6th, this is the content that's going to be covered on May 6th, okay, which is April 29th or May 6th, okay? So that's the daily overview of what needs to be covered on those days. So every day I will post a new daily overview. These match up, okay? So the readings, the assignments, and the discussions that show up in the daily overview will also match those that are in the weekly overview. The daily one just gives you maybe a little bit more information and just allows you to maybe focus on one day at a time. Okay, so that was last Monday or this past Monday, okay? And then the 27th or the 4th, depending on which week you are enrolled in the course. That's the other situation we have here. We have some people working on the course in week 1 of the 2-week block, and other people are working on it in week 2 of the 2-week block. And so that's why that course is organized in 2-week chunks. Okay, so now let's look at kind of what the schedule looks like from day to day. So this is an example of what the schedule looks like, and it's actually the first 4 weeks of the class. And I wanted to show you that just so that you have an awareness of how that course plays out. So this was last week, and that was the official start of the course. So Quad 4 here in Thames Valley started on April 26th. So the course started on the 26th, and I posted material each day starting on the 26th, the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th. And then if you look on the weekly overview, the 30th is just a day to kind of clean up anything that you didn't get done in the previous 4 days. That won't always be the case, but it will commonly be something that I do just to give you an opportunity to make sure you get everything in. Then, and by the way, just so that you know, I am teaching during this red block. So during the first week of the block, I teach a different course in my home school. So I teach another course. So I'm unavailable for the most part during that time. Now I'll talk about that in a minute as well. The second week, the week that we're currently in right now, it's now May 6th, and I'll post this on May 6th, hopefully, as long as I can get this done on time. So on this week, I work entirely on this course. So that's my assigned period for this course. Okay, and then you'll notice that it goes back to my other course next week. I'll be working on that, but all the material will be posted. So all of that material will be available for those people who are working on this unit. And then this final unit, again, this is week 2 of the second work week. Okay? And I'll be working between the 17th and the 21st on this course. Okay? So you can kind of see that there's a week off and then a week on for me. And it will be the same for some of you, and then others will also have a different organization. Some of you will be on the same schedule as me. Some of you will be on the opposite schedule of me. That doesn't really matter because, as I said, the course is divided into 2-week blocks. The other thing that I do want to talk about this is which I kind of hit on, is this idea of availability. So it's harder for me to be available during the week that I'm teaching the other course, especially during the mornings. I won't be available. I won't be available in the mornings, and I'll be able to respond to you, but it won't be as quick as I would normally respond during the green sections. Okay, so I still am committed to a 24-hour answering period. So if you ask me a question on one day, by the same time the next day I'll try to have that answer in. Again, please give me a little bit more flexibility on the weeks that I'm teaching the other course, but that will definitely be the case on the green weeks. I will for sure get back to you as soon as I possibly can, generally well within the 24-hour time period. So just be aware of how my schedule works, because that will help you kind of figure out what you need to do. So just flipping back to the course calendar and the assignments. So one of the things I want to just express as my last point for this video, and that is that please keep in mind this idea that only what is assigned here is due. You will see a lot of other assignments inside of the content. So if I were to quickly go into the content section of Unit 1, for example, just to show you. Okay, if we scroll through this content, you can see that there's a lot of other material which you are required to do. However, you will also notice that there are assignments that are assigned in there that have not been assigned as part of the course. So for instance, the personality traits discussion. I did not assign that as a discussion that you're going to be participating in. You need to read through this and get an idea of what this is talking about and think through the ideas that are associated with this, but you will not be required to join this discussion because it wasn't an assigned discussion in the overview. Okay? You want to read this article, then there's a check for understanding. Obviously, you want to participate in those things. Okay, then some talk on personality types, and then there's a personality test. Again, you are not required to do the personality test. There's a discussion on that. You are not to be going into that discussion. That is not part of the required stuff. You actually won't be able to go into this discussion because I'll have it blocked. And then finally, this consolidation, the personality collage, is the other thing that's assigned during Unit 1. So you will be able to see that this is something that you need to complete, and you can submit your work to the Dropbox for that one. Okay? So that's kind of the idea behind how I've set the course up. I don't want to get rid of the other stuff. The other stuff is valuable. It's good content for you to be looking through. It's a good thought process for you to be thinking about, but it is not content that's required in the course. You are not going to be doing any assignments on it. You're not going to be participating in every single discussion. You're not going to be submitting a portfolio, every single portfolio item, or even every single assignment. I will pick and choose which ones I need you to complete in order to cover the curriculum as best I can, but there will be a lot that will be left out. Again, that's just because of the compressed amount of time that we have. So unfortunately, I can't deliver the course in the way that I've previously been able to. So I hope that kind of helps you figure out what it is that you need to do for the course. I like this course. I think it's a great course if you are going into business in any way, shape, or form, whether it's you starting up your own business or you going into a business owned by somebody else and working your way up to a leadership role. This is a leadership management course. This is a business leadership course. And I think that the concepts that you learn in this course will be valuable. So I really do hope that you enjoy it, and I hope to see your work and talk to you throughout the course, whether you have questions or whatnot, and hopefully you enjoy it, and hopefully you get a lot out of it. I know, as I said, I know I do enjoy it, and yeah. So that's it for this video. Hope to see more of you in the course, and see you for now.